Howdy AdWords fans, and welcome back. In this chapter, we are going to continue our conversation on conversion tracking and talk about phone call tracking. Just to reiterate, if your business gets more than, around 10, 15, 20% of your leads, purchases, activity comes through phone calls, then it's really important to set up call tracking. Even if it's less and you have the time and you have the team and you have the ability to track phone calls or something that you want to do, then by all means, absolutely, create call tracking. There's 3 ways, like we spoke about in the initial conversion tracking video, to track phone calls. Well, there's really 4, but the main 3 ways are tracking phone calls from ads themselves, whether one way is through a call-only campaign, which we're going to set up in a second. The other way is through a call extension. And the other primary way of tracking phone calls is by creating dynamic number insertion on your website, where if somebody comes to your website through an ad, Google will automatically swap out your number with a Google forwarding number. A lot of businesses don't want to do that because it takes away a little bit of branding if you have a branded phone number. And either way, dynamic number insertion is not something we're going to cover now because it's not one of the primary ways of tracking phone calls. The primary ways of tracking phone calls are call-only campaigns and tracking phone calls through ad extensions. So let's go ahead first and set up a call-only campaign. As its name suggests, a call-only campaign is for that purpose only. People are only able to call you. They run specifically on mobile devices. Call-only campaigns run exclusively on mobile devices, and the headline of the ad turns into your phone number. If somebody clicks the headline of your ad, you get charged for a click, and then the person's smartphone has a dialogue, do you wish to call this number? That is what a call-only campaign essentially does. You still have your display URL, you still have your ad extensions, you still have your lines of text, but the headline becomes your phone number. And you could track calls, and you could track calls from those call-only ads through conversion tracking. And that's something which is automatically set up for you. You don't need to add a tag to your site. It's completely automatic as long as you're using a Google forwarding number. So let's go ahead and set up a call-only campaign. To do that, we click on our plus campaign button and we choose search network only. In this dialog over here, we select call only. Okay, and let's create, let's call this, office chairs, call only, and we still will use all the same targeting methods. We still use keywords, etc., but our ads are going to be call only ads, okay? And we can go through here to different settings, include the search partners. And if we see here, Google's telling us with a call-only campaign, ads are only going to run on devices that can make calls. We could choose our targeting. Let's say for this, I want to just target the United States. And I can choose different types of bid strategies. If I want to just do a manual CPC, like we usually do, our default bid will be, let's say $2 and a $10 daily budget. Go ahead, skip through our scheduling and create, save, and continue. And here we go, we have to name our ad group. So we'll do office chairs. I'm just going to run through this quickly because I'm not going to spend so much time on creating a really great name. Our business name is Poppin Office Furniture. And let's say our number is 897 2376521. And over here in our preview, Google's showing us exactly what it's going to look like on a mobile phone. All right, and it's just as I described. The headline of the ad is call and then your number, which is clickable. I'll put my number in parentheses, I'll make a space, make it look a little prettier, and there you go. And we can create a description. Office chairs, ready to ship. Call now to place your order. And you can do by phone if it doesn't fit. We can maybe do call now to place your phone order. There you go. And obviously this is not a perfect ad, but you're getting a sense of exactly what this looks like. And the display URL The main thing you want to worry about with the display URL in your call-only campaigns is quality score. So if we're going to be running office chair related keywords, we want to have our quality score functionality in our display URL destination, because that's going to help us get a higher quality score for our keywords. And this is the important thing. Keep this selected, a Google forwarding phone number, and use call reporting. Okay, this is the really important thing. Google's going to swap out this number, or it might show this number at times, but when you call it, it's going to call a different number. And it's going to be routed through Google's forwarding number, and it's going to actually ring on the number that you put up here in the phone number box. And report conversions is, you want to keep that selected, count calls as phone call conversions. And over here, we only have one conversion action available, calls from ads, but we could create new conversion actions and have it labeled separately. But for now, we'll just call it calls from ads, which is fine. And then you have our keyword targeting. So I'm just going to add all these. These are obviously not all the keywords, and most of them are probably not even keywords I want, but the point of this chapter is not to focus on keyword targeting so much. We want to just show you how the call tracking works. We'll go ahead and click Save Ad Group, and we're getting a warning. What is our warning? Invalid phone number for the selected country. URL must start with a scheme. I see. Okay. So we have to just copy the proper URL. Okay. And we need to have a valid phone number. So this is obviously not a USA area code. That one is. And we'll click Save. All right. So now that we have our campaign, which is our call-only campaign, I'm going to want to first go ahead and pause that campaign so I don't spend any money. But notice how I was cognizant of adding call-only as a name of the campaign. That's because the icon, which is the magnifying glass, is the same as any search network campaign, and there's no way to easily tell if this is a call-only campaign or not. So I want to just add in call-only over here. You could add a column campaign subtype, but I don't like doing that because it just makes my columns really crowded. But just to show you what that looks like, we go over to columns, modify columns, attributes, campaign subtype, and click Save. And under campaign subtype, down here on the right, it'll show you all features. And down here, it'll show you call only. Okay, so that would be our campaign type. But I just put in call only inside the title because it makes it a little easier for me to recognize. Now, if we want to see conversions, people who actually click, you might be asking, doesn't every click mean a phone call? And the answer is no. You might, and you will actually, almost for sure, you'll get more clicks than phone calls. And that's because if somebody clicks the headline of your ad, they first have to choose yes to call you from their iPhone or Android phone's dialog. Even if they choose no, not to call you, or the call doesn't go through, you still get charged for a click. That's something which is very important to keep in mind. Having a click on your call-only ad does not mean you received a phone call or received a phone conversion. To see our conversions for calls from ads, we need to go through Tools. Not to change history, let me go back. You click on Tools, then you click on Conversions. And this is the report which is going to show us all our conversions together, including calls from ads. Now, as you see, there is no calls from ads conversion that was added. We have to go ahead and add that conversion. So we hit plus conversion,